A new Wordle puzzle is online. Click on the link to play.
Listening to the following video may give you clues. Please like and share the videos.
The Mysteries of Marilyn Monroe. The Unheard tapes Netflix. If you've never seen The Secret Life of Marilyn Monroe, you may be wondering what it is about.
This documentary, directed by Emma Cooper for Netflix, focuses on the life and untimely death of the star. It tells the story through archival footage and interviews with friends and family of the star.
Here are a few things you should know about the film. Let's begin.
The Unheard tapes is a documentary. The mystery of Marilyn Monroe's death has engulfed Hollywood for over half a century.
The movie, The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe. The Unheard tapes, taps into the rumors and established facts surrounding the actress' death and has the potential to shed new light on these issues. The documentary features interviews from those who knew Monroe best, including John Huston, Billy Wilder, Jane Russell, and a host of others.
The movie centers on Monroe's life as a young woman and her love affairs with powerful men. Her obsession with her own name and celebrity far outlasted the cheap tabloids and movies that came about from her life.
She had no idea she would become internet content, much less grist for the rumor mill. This Netflix documentary reveals that there is more to Marilyn Monroe's life than meets the eye.
Although the title suggests that The Unheard tapes is a true crime, it is not. The movie relies heavily on audio from Anthony Summer's book, Goddess, which reveals some of the real details of Monroe's life.
The Unheard tapes uses some of that audio to explore how Monroe's life was affected by the scandal. The result is a documentary that feels like a podcast, rather than a traditional film.
Despite its ambition to correct the record, The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard tapes isn't entirely successful. Summer's voiceovers border on self-aggrandizement.
While he's a compelling artifice, the effects of lip-syncing pre-existing conversations are not necessarily a positive reflection of the documentary's mission. The actor who plays Huston sounds like he's trying to mimic his growl, which doesn't add authenticity.
It explores conspiracy theories about Marilyn Monroe's death. Many have wondered how and why Marilyn Monroe died, and this new documentary series by Fox News explores the various theories.
It focuses on her career, the relationship between the actress and various influential individuals, and the circumstances surrounding her death. In this short documentary, Danforth Prince provides an inside look at Monroe's last hours and her relationship with mob bosses.
While she died of natural causes, some theories say there was foul play involved due in 1964. An anti-communist author argued that Robert F.
Kennedy had ordered the murder of Marilyn Monroe, and also claimed that the doctors who treated her had communist sympathies. In fact, the FBI obstructed the investigation of Los Angeles District Attorney investigators, which ultimately led to the creation of a Freedom of Information Act.
The district attorney learned that the FBI had a file on Monroe marked 105. The file was used when a suspect had unsavory political views.
The FBI's J. Edgar Hoover believed the file was a communist and would not allow it to be released.
Another theory involves the Central Intelligence Agency. This theory began to surface in the late 1960s, when Monroe was romantically involved with Robert Kennedy, thus Attorney
General at the time. During that time, she also began dating fellow senator and actor Joe DiMaggio, who reportedly wanted to marry Monroe.
According to this theory, Monroe had been a threat to national security. Her death, as a result, was ruled as a suicide.
Another theory is related to the UFO crash. There have been many theories surrounding this controversial case.
However, the best one is that Monroe had an affair with John Fakende and a top-secret report on the crash of an alien UFO is real.
This theory also links Kennedy to the murder of Marilyn Monroe, which Greer says was ordered by the CIA. If the U.S. government ordered the crash of a UFO, it would be in their best interest to keep such information hidden.
It isn't about Marilyn Monroe. If you love the sexy, iconic beauty but can't stand her mysterious death, you may want to check out The Mysteries of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard tapes Netflix.
It will feature never-before-seen stories and interviews with people who knew the star. Although her death is officially ruled a suicide, the film looks into the circumstances that led to her death.
The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes is an intriguing series that explores the mysterious death of Monroe 60 years ago. It features archival interviews conducted by investigative journalist Anthony Summers, who was a Pulitzer Prize finalist for his 9/11 book.
Summers interviewed many of Monroe's friends, including John Huston, Billy Wilder, and Jane Russell. If you're wondering why this true crime documentary is so popular, it's because it adds to the controversy surrounding the infamous actress' death.
Several conspiracy theories abound regarding Monroe's death, including a connection between attorney Robert Kennedy and President John F. Kennedy.
Summers interviewed several people linked to Monroe's death and believes that powerful men were involved. In The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes, Henry Rosenfeld, a former clothing maker for the star, recalls that her biggest fantasy was to have sex with her own father.
After their sex, Monroe would ask her father, "How do you know?" If you're a fan of movies, The Mystery of Marilyn, The Unheard Tapes, is for you.
This documentary explores the investigation into Monroe's death, which uncovered a harrowing history of sexual abuse. The actress was found dead in her home on August 4, 1962, from acute barbiturate poisoning.
While the autopsy ruled her death a self-inflicted overdose, many speculators claimed she committed suicide or was murdered by an acquaintance. It isn't about John Huston.
The unreleased The Asphalt Jungle tapes are a fascinating insight into the life of the late actress. Though her public persona was in a constant state of flux, she remained open to the media's scrutiny during her lifetime.
During the interview sessions, she revealed to her associates that she was open to escaping the stardom that sometimes imprisoned her. All film's focus is not on Huston, but rather Monroe herself.
It isn't about John Huston, but the two actors' relationship with Monroe was fascinating. The two actors were never credited with having an affair, but there is enough video footage to prove that Huston and Monroe were indeed lovers.
The mysterious death of Monroe and her relationship with the Kennedys has spawned endless documentaries and salacious TV movies. So while Huston was the director of The Unheard Tapes, Summers is the one who actually makes the film.
Throughout the movie, Summers appears continuously to discuss his ideas about the final hours of Monroe's life. The film's premise is that true stories rarely circulate in the media, and false ones do.
While the documentary does have its moments, most of it is audio-based. In The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, the movie's protagonist, Don Murray, plays a socially inept cowboy who pursues Monroe.
The film doesn't explore Monroe as a stalker, and instead focuses on her life as a woman. However, this documentary focuses on her role as a role model for women, and it does that in a wonderful way.
It isn't about Jane Russell. While The Mysteries of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes Netflix isn't about Jane Russell, the documentary does follow the movie star's ups and downs before her death in 1962.
Monroe, an actress and model from the United States, was one of the biggest heartthrobs of her era, representing the sexual revolution of the 1950s. Her famous, blonde bombshell roles earned her the nickname The Waif.
Jane Russell and her husband, John Huston, also played important roles in Monroe's life. In the documentary, Monroe's struggle with her mental health is explored.
While most believe Monroe died tragically, the filmmakers explore alternate theories and investigate alternative scenarios. This film expands on the idea that Monroe's life was unfair and tragic.
Despite its lack of mystery, The Mystery of Marilyn Monroe, The Unheard Tapes doesn't focus on Russell's life. Instead, it taps into common themes such as addiction and trauma.
Though the thriller of Marilyn Monroe is a well-documented biography, it isn't about Jane Russell. Despite the film's tacky reenactments, it's also a reminder of the troubled young Monroe faced.
Sadly, she didn't know her biological father until her early teens. Her struggle to conceive a child is casually discussed, but it's enough to keep the audience watching.
This documentary is primarily audio. It would probably work better as a podcast.
Cooper's work doesn't show much visual appeal, so the audio is the main component. The most engaging sections of the film come from archival Monroe footage.
Through this, we see Monroe's talent and charm. In addition, this documentary gives us a glimpse of her life and death.